Haggquist office. You got to do something.
Michelle, I got to get this. Okay.
James, I got to close out for Mantell. Okay.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James JC Cooley. Wow, we got a fantastic show scheduled for you, but we had technical difficulties in the beginning. So I know we're starting a little late, but hey, we're still going to come your way with an absolutely fantastic show. Now we're going to talk about tools that help you stay young, healthy, and injury-free. And we got this absolutely fantastic doctor coming your way today to talk about these things. And I tell you what, you sit back, grab your a couple of bags of popcorn. We are getting ready to do this. We're going to do it because we do it big or we don't do it at all. So waiting on Dr. Michelle to come aboard for a minute or so. So hey, how you doing, Dr. Michelle?
Oh, I'm doing great. And audience, sorry about the late start. We had some technical difficulties, but we're going to start the show right now with our amazing guest, Dr. Jeff Haggquist. And the title of today's show is 360-Degree Health, Tools to Help You Stay Young, Healthy, and Injury-Free. So let's talk a little bit about our guests today, but let's kind of go over what the agenda is. So we're having a sit-down conversation with trained physical medicine and rehabilitation physician with a focus in musculoskeletal and sports medicines. That's Dr. Jeff Haggquist. He's going to talk about ergonomics, how to work right, how to stay flexible, staying young and injury-free with active, isolated stretching, dietary recommendations, you are what you eat, new frontiers in regenerative medicine, the science of prolotherapy. Dr. Jeff Haggquist is a trained physical medicine and rehabilitation physician with a focus in musculoskeletal and sports medicine. His hands-on approach, including manual manipulation is a hallmark of osteopathic medical treatment. He completed his residency training at Temple University Hospital in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, his osteopathic internship at the University of Medicine and Dentistry of New Jersey, and his medical education at Kansas City University of Medicine and Biosciences. He has studied with Aaron Mattis for more than 20 years and is a national specialist in the Mattis method of active isolated stretching and conducts educational workshops and seminars on flexibility, strength, and neuromuscular re-education. He is a leading osteopath in Washington, D.C., and regularly presents on topics at the frontier of medicine. He and his Washington, D.C. team are working to reinvent musculoskeletal medicine by integrating regenerative medicine, hands-on physical therapy, and osteopathy. So please welcome to the show, Dr. Jeff Haggquist. How are you, Dr. Jeff?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Hey, Dr. Jeff, I know we had some technical problems, but we still gonna get this message out to our viewers and listeners. So it's an absolute pleasure having you on the show today. And we're so interested in hearing about some of your work, some of the things that you're doing. But first of all, can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit more about you? Where were you born and raised? What makes you click? And why are you so passionate about what you do?
Wow, this starts like most people that get into medicine, there's a grassroots story behind it. Mine just happens to be a little bit more interesting than most. My father was in the Navy, and our family moved every 2 years, went to a bunch of schools, probably not optimum, but it had its advantages. One of the advantages was he happened to be Swedish, and he taught the family Swedish massage, and that was what we did every day with each other. If you were watching TV, you were doing massage on somebody, or the TV was off. And so I grew up from the age of about 10 years old doing massage therapy, just as an enjoyment and to help our minds and bodies, just easy stuff, hands, feet, heads, necks. I think ultimately they taught us massage so the kids could work on the parents, which is pretty clever on their part. But what it meant for me is I was able to put myself through school as a massage therapist, which is a great job to put yourself through college because you can plan your own hours. So I ended up at University of Florida and then George Washington University, where I finished working as a massage therapist. And after that, I was worked further as a massage therapist on the National Sports Massage Team. And that's where I cut my teeth and I got my grassroots training in manual therapies, and especially with a lot of big time athletes. Went to big events, worked in the pit with a bunch of other therapists, and saw some of the most famous athletes in the world, gold medalists, and worked on them, got feedback. And then I took that about as far as I could and ended up going to medical school. I chose an osteopathic manual focus medicine school, medical school in Kansas City, and ended up doing post graduate work in residency training at Temple University in Pennsylvania in physical medicine and rehabilitation. And I always included my manual therapies in treatment. I got very good reviews, but the main criticism I got, the only criticism I got in my training, was I spent too much time with patients. I took that as a compliment, actually. So I had such a good time that I worked full-time through high school, full-time through college, full-time my whole life. The only time I haven't worked full-time is my first 2 years of medical school. After that, I opened a clinic in my house and worked full-time through the last half of medical school and residency. Now, of course, full-time at a clinic. So I'm a worker bee. I love hands-on therapy, and I love it because it's so personal. You get direct feedback, not just from the person saying how they feel, but educated touch. When I touch somebody, their body speaks back to me, and it empowers me to be very sensitive when I touch and work on people. And it really encourages them to check in with their body and take responsibility for themselves and to see, how do I feel? How do I respond to this? So that's kind of how I got to where I am. I ended up opening a clinic that this is the grassroots of. I have some of the best physical therapists, manual therapists there are, I'd say I have trained them, they have trained me. We are truly integrated. We see patients together. I look at every chart every day, sign every chart, everyone that comes through the clinic. We bat about cases. We truly are integrated. We're not just a bunch of people in the same building doing different things. We actually work together. And I think this gives us a wonderful percentage outcome on people we help. And so this is a model I think could be very beneficial for everyone in musculoskeletal medicine. Actually, the physical therapists love having a physician as backup. I love having physical therapists to help me with all the manual therapy. It allows us to treat a lot more people and help a lot more people. And here we are.
You know, I tell you, this is such a great show. We have to take a station break immediately so we can come back and kind of catch up and get Dr. Michael Mantell into it and just dig deep into a lot of things that you're doing. So I tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching this on, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to that platform, ask any question that you might have. I promise you, we will get you an answer because we got 3 great doctors, at least 2 great doctors here that's going to provide some answers. So it's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you. I'm so drawn to you.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and we got 2 absolutely fantastic doctors here that's getting ready to enlighten us with a lot of education and knowledge that we need to do to help stay at our ultimate fitness level. And I'm excited. And I know that we started out, and I just want to thank the audience for being patient because we had technical difficulties. But we're going to get through this whole thing. It's beautiful. And I did not get an opportunity to introduce my guest co-host, Dr. Michael Mantell. You know, he's been away for about a week or so, but it's glad to have him back. And this absolutely fantastic top doc, Dr. Jeff Haggquist. You know, so it's fantastic to have you guys on the show. Doc, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Okay, good. First of all, I'm glad to see that we've got through our technical difficulties, and I'm glad I caught your note to come back on. Had I not been looking at the phone, I would not have been here. So and everything works out for the best. It reminds me of Amy Scruggs' song, "What If It All Goes Right?" So there we are. Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you, Dr. Haggquist. And as I mentioned to you, as we were waiting to come on earlier, you come very highly recommended from a dear friend, colleague, and someone we both know, Chris Hines, who thought you are be the greatest guest. And after speaking with you and looking at your material and whatnot, I'm sure that she had good reason to say that. So we're going to learn from you. One of the things that you talk about is ergonomics.
Yes.
And I want to talk about, and that if you've already covered this when I wasn't here, forgive me, but I want to talk about some of the most common ergonomic issues that you see in your practice. And let's talk about what some people can do to deal with those things.
Okay, great. Well, quick spontaneously here. And you're a very accomplished physician, Dr. Mantell. And I wanted to, I read Dr. James Cooley's bio. I want to, hats off to James. He is so accomplished and he does so much for so many people. And he's a bridge builder. James, you didn't do this to get ahead. You did this to make a difference. So I'm humbled. So it's good to be on your program. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you.
And I check out his bio, everybody. This guy's impressive. So
It sure is.
Dr. Mandel, ergonomics, the thing I see the most, and it is most obvious to everyone, is forward head posture. We call it the 42-pound head. Okay. What happens is the body is built in a way that if your head is in its proper posture on top of the shoulders, it's weightless. Okay. There's 1 G of force in each vertebral body, 1 G. There's 1 G at your ankle, that one gravity. And so there's no extra weight on your spine, your neck. There's nothing breaking you down. When your head goes forward, for every couple centimeters, it gets heavier and heavier. If your head is about 6 to 7 centimeters in front of your shoulders, your head weighs about 42 pounds relative to 0. Okay. So what happens there is all these muscles in the back of your neck they have to check that forward movement and rein you back in. One of the first things that's happened is your head goes into extension. Your occipital muscles, they crunch down. And they're trying their best to get you balanced, to get your eyes leveled. Okay. So now you have a very heavy head. You have the back overworking. You have the spine under compression, which is not used to being under. And now we start getting mechanical and degenerative pressures. These lead to compensatory patterns. So muscles don't like this. So other muscles tighten up. And before you know it, you've got a FUBAR. That's an old World War II term, effed up beyond all recognition.
Right.
It's an So so what happens here is you get in this posture and it's hard to fix because then your body adjusts to it. You see that with dowagers' humps. You see with people with humps at the back of their up here. And that's from long-standing upper cross posture. There's a Czech physician called Janda that coined this term, upper cross posture. So what that means to us is we have all these muscles tightening up in compensation, and we get neck pain, not just from tight muscles, but also from over long term, because the tissues in the discs and the vertebral body start degenerating. We also get headaches, the most common symptom. So I have kids now. We coined this term, and I don't know if we coined it, but everybody's coined it, devicing neck. I don't think devicing is an actual word yet, but I'm sure it's going to be soon. So your head is down like this, and then the next thing you know, you're like this. I have 13, 16-year-olds missing a year of high school because of chronic headaches. They've been to every neurologist there is. They've been every workup, orthopedic neurosurgeons. and they can't find the problem. But nobody even thought about, well, look at their terrible posture. So that's the most common problem, I think, is and obvious is the neck. The next would be the back. So let's want to talk about the neck first.
Let's talk about the back. What I'm interested in is what can people do, like at work or at home or with the device? What specific recommendations do you have for that?
Well, we have to change, something has to change. Okay. An old term, I don't know where that came from, but I thought it was Chinese, but it turns out it's not. I tried to figure out the origin of it. But to change, something has to change. So if I continue my poor ergonomic posture, then I'm not going to change. Nothing's going to change. I had a leading IT executive came to me with not only chronic headaches. This guy is vice president of one of the major companies in the world. And his neck hurt so bad. He had so many headaches. He started getting numbness in his arms, numbness in his feet, blood pressure, dysregulation. All these things were going wrong, disequilibrium. And what happened at COVID, he sat on his couch in this posture here with the back of the couch pushing his head up, his laptop on his lap, and worked for many hours at a time in a severely flexed position of the neck. This led to his brainstem impinging on his spinal cord, and he got something called medullary syndrome. But all that means is a lot of basically your brain starts malfunctioning because you're pinching it. And we had to do a terrible surgery for him called the unbend your neck ectomy. So it took a few months, but we got him to sit up straight and stop doing that. And sure enough, his symptoms got better. He couldn't believe that was it. People in those positions tend to think they have all the answers. They probably have most of them, but not this
Right.
one. So what can we do different? If I have a phone, especially for kids, we think about privacy. We have our phone, we tend to put it down in our lap next to our belly button and work down here. We can brace our arms, but boy, that's really bad for your neck. So what I try to train people to do is put your elbow into your ribs. Anytime you're on your phone, make sure your elbow is touching your ribs. And at least that'll get it up a couple feet higher than it was before. And you won't have all those intense pressures of your head flexing forward. You can work just fine up here. It's not the most comfortable thing till you get used to it. But I think it would be worthwhile to program, because it's called pairing behavior. Program anytime you're on your phone, make sure you feel your elbow on your ribs. That's one simple thing for kids and adults the same.
Adult too. It's a great idea. It's something I got to remember. So what about the notion of movement and flexibility? I fell back in December and broke my knee. I've been having physical therapy 3 times a week. I go to the gym 6 days a week. I'm pretty active. With my physical therapist, who's terrific, he says, motion is lotion. You got to keep it moving. Talk a little bit about the importance and the science behind flexibility and movement and how that relates to injury prevention.
You're right. And, to build on that, motion is lotion, because it's really a wonderful idea. Your next posture is your best posture, which means you see people on the couch in terrible postures. They're fine. They get up. They might be a ballerina about to perform, and they're fine. The key is they don't stay in that posture long. You got to move. So don't stay. If you're in some suboptimal position, don't stay there long. Understand that suboptimal positions are natural, that active sitting, which puts somebody in good posture, is very hard to maintain. In fact, literature says it's impossible. But what's not impossible is to move, to just take 1 second, maybe do this, and then go back to working. Maybe in the future, all computers are going to have a little chime that goes off every 2 minutes.
Right. I was just wondering about whether or not you're aware of any wearable technology that can monitor ergonomics or provide real-time feedback. Is there anything out there now?
There is. It's not very effective. I've actually purchased it for myself and my daughter, and she didn't fix her posture till she started modeling at Virginia Tech, and then suddenly when the fashion designer told her she had to improve her posture, she fixed it quick.
Amazing.
But there's a device that goes on the back of your neck, and it's called upright. What's it called? Upright Go, and it's just a little box that goes back here. You wear it like a backwards necklace, and it tells you every time you bend over a little bit. That is the only real wearable posture I know that is reasonable. I tried using it. She tried using it. Lots of people have tried using it. Nobody continues to use it. There's probably more of those sitting around gathering dust than anything.
My car has it's weird. Right in front of the steering wheel, if I'm driving and I suddenly look over here, look at the screen for the radio or CarPlay, whatever it is, I hear a beep. Driver inattention identified, or whatever the language they use. Okay. Now, if they can do that in the car, Dr. Haggquist, when is Dr. Haggquist going to invent this new app on our computer that says your head is forward, it's weighing too much, or whatever it might be? It seems to me like you could do it.
They've invented this, actually. This has been invented on the West. It's a university on the West Bank. It's Israelis. They've done a lot of work on posture and ergonomics. And what they found with their research is that, excuse me, I had the flu last week, so a little bit of a cough. The only way to maintain good posture is to have real-time awareness. So what they did was they did a lot of research on this. They have your computer screens in front of you. Great. Off on the upper corner of your computer is another little monitor of you inside vision or view. There's a camera beside you.
Brilliant.
And you're constantly monitoring your own posture, and you have something that dings to remind you to fix it. They did research. This was the only thing that improved people's posture. They did it without cameras. They did the dings. They did front pictures. Nothing worked. So
we're gonna have a ding right now. Dr. Cooley is going to ding us right now. Watch.
Hey, this is such an extraordinary conversation. We got to take a station break. Got to pay the bills. But I tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching this on, whether it's E36 Television, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, over 55 other platforms, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments, ask these two great doctors any question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
We live in a world today that people don't even care about how people see them. Don't realize that we can affect an entire generation and build our character. But you gotta do it with these 4 C's. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. It's the 4 C's. It's the 4 C's. In this life you are gonna grow, but there's things in this world that you gotta know. To be the best that you can be, you wanna grow real big into a strong tree. To be who you were created to be, the one who's gonna leave a legacy is you. But you got to have these 4 C's. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. It's the 4 C's. It's the 4 C's.
Hello, welcome back to James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. And I tell you, just listening in the last segment with Dr. Jeff and Dr. Mike and certain ways that, just like he was saying, we hold our head weigh 42 pounds, maybe more than that. Some people head bigger than that, you know, but it's just certain things and certain ways that affect each one of us differently. And so I say take heed of what these two great doctors are talking about, because it will help you with your posture. It will help you with a lot of things. Also will help you eliminate most unnecessary pain. So this is what it's all about. And I'm just so glad to be here to share this with them. Dr. Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so a lot of people with their phones and devices, computers and all of these type of things. And I don't know if it's a certain way that you hold these things to prevent certain illnesses or flexibility. But can you talk about that a little bit?
A way that you hold your device specifically?
Phone up against your head.
Oh, I think there's some controversy, which the literature isn't fully vetted on yet, on putting your phone to your ear. I tend not to do it just because it's not as comfortable to bend my elbow for a long period of time to this level. And so when I'm on the phone, I like to be in private. So I put it on voice, low voice, and hold my phone out in front of me and speak. And I think that's a wonderful way to be on the phone if possible. I think this is a good reason for earbuds. Use earbuds, use your phone, and allows you to not combine upper body stresses and ergonomics while you're on the phone. So I think the kids have caught, excuse me, are way ahead on this. If you do have to have your phone to your ear, don't make that be a long conversation. And that's probably the best advice there. Getting back to the last thing about forward head posture, though, a real quick one, because this is easy. A lot of things, if people say if their head's forward, they think about, well, I'll just put my head back. Well, that really doesn't work. If you try it, it's stressful. But what does work is lift your chest up. You lift your chest up, your head automatically comes back. Well, if your chest comes up, well, then your low back goes into correct posture also. So the easiest thing is have something supporting your sacrum or the lowest part of your back, not necessarily your lumbar region, but below that. And then bring your chest up a little bit. That's the real way to correct neck posture. And then what we do is we do strengthening exercises around keeping the chest up in good posture like so, because we see this very common. The posture I'm in now, shoulders roll forward and hunched. This is very common. And we really want to get to a more athletic posture, up like so, chest up, fixes the neck. How do we support that? Oh, really simple. Some exercises against the wall, snow angels.
Mm-hmm.
Really great. Some exercises called YTWLs. Make your back strong. The posterior chain, the back is the secret. Any athlete knows that because that's the first thing they train to get strong. And boy, you don't see as many athletes with bad posture as you do those of us who aren't as athletic.
So interesting because, as I said, I broke my knee, and I thought I'd have to strengthen my knee. No, you have to strengthen the quad muscles and the muscles around it. So it's interesting you talk about strengthening your back to help your head. The chain is so interesting. I want to shift gears and talk about something else, and that is the current understanding that the role of inflammation has in musculoskeletal health. Can you talk a little bit about that and how we're going to talk about nutrition as it relates to this, but what about inflammation and swelling and that sort of thing?
Well, it's integral to musculoskeletal health, and it's most problems are a combination of variables. We run into a roadblock when we get too granulated down into the details. For instance, the heart doctor sees a heart problem. The psychiatrist is always in the head, et cetera, et cetera. But really, problems are a combination of variables that all add up to the problem. In osteopathic medicine, we say the body has this inherent capacity to heal. And we've all discovered that as so many things get better on their own until one thing doesn't. And that one thing that's not getting better is likely because there's a combination of problems that are adding up to the big problem or the focus problem that we're trying to fix. And Einstein had this wonderful comment about this. He was a good problem solver, and he used to put all the variables he could think of together in a pot. He would triage or organize them in a way, strategize, make them the most important to least important, and start addressing them. And that's how he solved the problem in the most efficient way possible. Thinking about all the problems, but all the variables of the problem, the most important ones first. And then he said, for people that would do it differently, he said, well, for every problem, there's an obvious, simple, and wrong answer.
I love it. Great answer. So what about important nutrients for maintaining healthy joints and bones and muscles? Anything that you suggest to patients?
Well, here's something, the most amazing thing that our grandparents told us. And I want to ask you, I'll tell you this in a minute, and tell me if your grandparents told you this or not. Probably the most important dietary recommendation there is, bar none, maybe 10 to 1, 20 to 1 more important than anything else, is chew your food.
Right.
Now,
Chew slowly.
Chew slowly. Your parents and grandparents told you that, didn't they?
Yes, they did. And we tell that to our grandchildren.
Right. So the thing is we get a lot of nutrition. I mean, we're lucky in this country. We have a lot of varieties of food that come in. And we are able to get the nutrition we need, pretty much everyone. So how do you get the nutrition out of the food? Well, you chew it. You don't take a couple of bites of pasta and swallow the whole thing. Well, then you get just a bunch of unchewed pasta in your stomach, which is starch. And everybody knows what happens when you put starch in a warm still. You make vodka. Well, and one of the byproducts of distillation, of course, is gas. So you want to have a lot of gas and you want to get poor nutrition, don't chew your food. If you just take your time and chew your food. Now, I'm a big offender here. I have to work on this all the time because I tell you what, when I see something yummy in front of me, I'm afraid somebody's going to grab it before I finish it. So I tend to eat pretty quick. So we ate everything on our plate in our house. So I think chewing your food is really into a mush. The first digestive enzymes begin in the mouth, pidolin, is the starch digestive enzymes. And then it continues through then the stomach helps process it, getting it ready for more enzymes and allowing it slowly to go into the food, to go into the intestine, where more enzymes are injected into the food to digest it. If you have a bunch of clumps in there, it's not going to get digested well, and it's actually going to ferment. And I guess the great Lord knew this was going to happen. So he gave us something in our liver called alcohol dehydrogenase. He knew we were going to eat inefficiently and we were going to make alcohol in our gut. So he gave us a way to get rid of it. And that's why you can drink a little bit and really not feel too much of the effects, because you have a natural process to digest and break down alcohol.
We have a question from Dr. Durr, psychiatrist.
Yes.
Who wants to know about how improper posture can stress and inflame the glutes and lower back. Interesting question.
Well, the main posture we're talking about there, you can't divorce the head from the hips. But when we sit for a long period of time and not active posture, active sitting, but we roll our back like so. If we're sitting normally in active posture, we have a nice curve in our back. If we sit for a while like a soft, we roll forward. Our hips tilt back, and that takes the curvature out of the lumbar spine. The normal curvature, lordosis, looks like, on my spine. There we go, like this. I'm kind of looking backwards in this.
Right, I get it.
So you understand the normal curvature of the lumbar spine. If you reverse that, we've done research that shows incredible pressures are placed in the spinal joints and discs. Incredible pressure, sometimes 4-6 times the actual weight of gravity. And if you, from a seated position, if you don't sit actively and you roll your back and then bend over, now you have all those incredible pressures and you increase them by bending over. It's the main way we hurt our back, according to research. And it doesn't take much of a bend over if your back's in poor posture. So how does that inflame the glutes? Well, what happens is if your back is in poor posture under stress, the joints really don't like that. And they recruit other muscles like the glute medius minimus, the hip flexor muscles, to contract to try and help stabilize the pelvis, help try and get it into a stable foundation for your upper body to rest on. Well, they overwork. They way overwork. And this will create so much overwork, so much, inflammatory mediators, substance P, substance C, hyaluronic acid, lactic acid, everything gets in there. And these are all pro-inflammatory. So it can inflame the glutes, as it's almost a natural process of poor posture and poor sitting is to inflame your pelvis.
We don't want Dr. Cooley to be inflamed. So we better take a break right now.
Yeah,
Very good.
We got to take a break, but wow, this is so interesting. And, I'm going to say it right now. We have to get Dr. Haggquist back on the show. Called Dr. Mantell. And you know that we have to show him the respect and the courtesy that he deserves. And a lot of the information that we really want to get out, we're not going to be able to get it out during this segment because of the 8 minutes of technical difficulty loss. So I'm just saying right now, Doc, Dr. Jeff, if you have time, we want to get you back on the next 2 to 3 weeks to finish talking about this. But we still got about 9-10 minutes left in the show.
I'd be glad to come back on. It's a pleasure.
So we're going to take a station break. But I tell you what, all of this valuable, invaluable information that you get. And you know what? He's not even charging you for it. You know?
We don't
You know?
hope.
But we when we get back, we're gonna continue this conversation. You know, we're talking about stretching and a lot of other things. We're gonna try to pile in the last 8 minutes, and also we're gonna give you the information if you want to contact Dr. Haggquist on and listen to his services or getting information from him. We're gonna make sure that we provide that information to you as well. So I tell you what, I want everybody to just sit back. We're gonna take a station break. We're gonna come back and we're gonna continue this conversation. It's your life. We'll see you shortly. Hello, I'm Dr. James JC Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And just like I was telling you, one of the top docs in the United States of America, maybe around the world. Actually, we got two of them right here in your presence. So, and I tell you, in order for you to get these type of docs and information that they put in front of you, first of all, you can get in touch with them, and they can help you out with whatever you might have. And also, just by watching them on the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, we get the best of the best. And Dr. Mantell, I would just want to thank you so much because the doctors that we have had on, including this great doctor today, are the best of the best. So, I want to thank both of you all. Also, I want to say, during this show, we went over 56,000 subscribers on YouTube alone, not the other 55 platforms.
Wow.
So I got to thank our audience for that 56. What I'm talking about? I'm looking at 56,000 subscribers. So keep it coming. Keep locked in on us, and we're going to continue to bring you this type of great talent as we have with Dr. Haggquist. So I know we only got about 6 minutes left in the show. I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Mike. And I tell you, just like I mentioned, Dr. Jeff, before the break, we certainly would love to have you back on. There's so much more that we want to talk about, and we'll get an opportunity to do that if your schedule permits.
Thank you. Love to come back.
Dr. Haggquist, very quickly, with just a couple of moments left. I know the answer it's going to a lot longer. We'll get into it next time for sure as we delve further into this. But regenerative medicine, a term that lots of people talk about, and prolotherapy is something that many people may have not even heard of. Can you explain it very quickly for us? And I see someone named Paula Mantell. That could be someone I married to for over 50 years, whose birthday is coming up this Saturday. She's a one of the best posture exercises you suggest. Oh no, what do we do now? We got 3 minutes left.
Okay.
And we actually got 5 if you guys got.
Okay, go ahead. So
Okay, prolotherapy. It's been around a long time. It's quite simple. It involves sugar water, and usually mixed with saline, and injected into tissues to help heal those tissues. How it does this? Sugar water is a mild irritant, but it's very local. So it doesn't create systemic inflammation. It creates inflammation right where it's injected. It's very conservative. Say you have a problem with the muscle, a muscle tear, and you want it to heal a little bit faster. If you put a little bit of prolotherapy in there, it can help it heal quicker. Say you've had this muscle tear and the pain hasn't gone away for months. Well, now the pain has become chronic, and chronic things don't heal well. The prolotherapy, which is basically no harm, no foul, it's really not going to, it's very unlikely to hurt anything, but it will create a local environment of inflammation or healing and get that tissue back on the road to healing and healing fully. So it is a first step. Certainly try it before surgery if indicated. There are certain things surgery can only help. But this is a very conservative therapy for many musculoskeletal conditions, and it's easy. We provide it either with or without ultrasound, so it could be guided and can be put within a millimeter of the exact point you want it, or exactly where you want it. Any other questions about that?
I'm sorry. I'm not sure. Maybe that prolotherapy can only be done by a physician.
By a physician, yes.
Yeah.
Injection therapies are
Right.
usually just for physicians and physicians' assistants, actually specifically trained in it.
Okay, real quickly, if I don't get to this question, JC, you know what's going to happen. Paula Mantell wants to know what are the couple of the best posture exercises you can suggest as we wrap up this first interview with you.
Well, hey, Doc. I don't know what you guys' schedule is, but we can go another 8 minutes. I just didn't want to infringe on.
I'm good.
I'm good too.
Okay, let's do it.
Go back. What are some of the best posture exercises you suggest?
Okay. First of all, the body works in a spiral manner. All the matrix of the body is laid down in a spiral. So a lot of the exercises work well if we do a spiral pattern to them. So if we're sitting in our desk and we want to, and our back's a little grouchy, we can reach up and spiral with the other arm. Really, really feels good. Okay. So anytime we can do a spiral movement pattern, if you're laying on your back, you can rock to one side, rock your knees to the opposite side, and lift one arm up. Rock your knees to the opposite side, lift your arm up. Really great posture exercise. So if you're laying flat on your back with your knees bent, rock your knees to one side and your arm to the other side. That's a really good exercise. Mushi Feldenkrais, that's one of his primary, he was a posture expert. That's one of his primary exercises, well vetted. At the chair, very simple. I showed this earlier. You could simply bend over. First, spread your feet out nice and wide so you don't tip over. Just simply bend your body over. That's really good. Keep your neck flexible. Let's do just simply chest up and tuck your chin back. This is a really great exercise for activating the anterior neck muscles, which are basically turned off with poor posture. And if you do a couple of those right now, you'll feel your chest and neck feel better almost immediately. So it's very simply lift your chest up, tuck your chin in, and push your head back. If we take that posture to the wall and stand up against the wall, we can do our snow angel. Chest up, head back, and then do the snow angels against the wall, and you'll really feel your back muscles working. As soon as you do a few of those, boy, your upper body's going to feel better. You'll feel lighter. You'll feel a lot lighter. Let's see. I think we don't really have the time to go into it all now, but we're going to talk about active isolated stretching maybe next time. And so tune in for that, because we have a lot of really good, easy exercises to do in that protocol, and we can send out a bunch of information on that. So let's see. Our head moves in several primary directions. Think about a compass: east, west, north, south. So very simply, tilt, keep your head in this plane and tilt a little, assist and relax. Don't hold the stretches, just a very simple movement. Remember, movement is life, motion is lotion. So tilt, a baby assist, help your body do what it's already doing, and let it go. Go the same direction 3 or 4 times, and then the other direction.
Wow.
That will help your neck feel better immediately. It's very simple, and it's very specific. You do want to keep it moving. You do want to go the same direction each time. Don't alternate, because you take advantage of the law of repetition. Every time you do it, it gets easier. We'll do a few repetitions and feel better.
Hey, Doc. So we got about 3 minutes left. Okay. So what are 3 takeaways that you want our viewers and our listeners to get from this great discussion with you? And remember, in about 3 weeks, if you have time, we're going to follow up on it. So, but what are 3 takeaways that you might want to leave them with right now?
Okay. First of all, with nutrition, I think, eat a variety of foods, your vegetables, and chew your foods well, especially fibrotic foods like vegetables need to be chewed. Fruits need to be chewed. You're gonna be a happy camper. You're gonna probably get all the nutrition you need, all the calcium you need from your food. Best way to get calcium, because the literature now shows that calcium supplementation might not be as beneficial as we thought. There might be some downsides to it. So it's better to get your calcium from food. And let's see, you want a couple easy foods, almonds, oranges, spinach. Those are easy. Kelp. So next, your next movement is life. So your next posture is your best posture. Keep it light, keep it moving. Don't get stuck in your seat. It's okay to move. Even if you're on a Zoom, go ahead. You can move your chair. If you're on a rotating chair, stay active. Give good attention to your moderator, of course, but that doesn't mean you can't have your body feel good while you're sitting. So here we have chew our food, stay active, and what else? We got a lot in there.
You know what?
Very doable.
I think we covered a lot, but we didn't cover everything. So I tell you, I won't even feel right unless we do a follow-up on this, because this is such fantastic information, such great information. So I tell you, a lot of things that we did not discuss. We did not discuss the supplement, the vitamins. It's a lot of things that we did not discuss. But I tell you, if you guys tune in to the next show, which is Michelle is going to negotiate that as soon as we get off the phone.
Good.
We're going to bring both of these great doctors back, and we're going to make sure that the right information to live a happy, almost pain-free. All depends on whether you listen to these 2 doctors or not. And I tell you, Michelle, what do you got to say? We got about a minute.
Well, I definitely want to bring them back soon. And I had so many questions, especially about vitamins and stuff, because I'm going through some stuff. And I think a lot of people are regarding posture and procedures that may be done or may not be done. So there's a lot of information, Dr. Haggquist, I believe that you can educate the audience on. So I'm going to say sooner than later. And I think
Sure.
regarding that date that we talked about, real soon.
Oh, you talking about Monday?
Huh? Monday, yes.
Monday, sure. I can still make Monday.
Hey, Doc Mantell.
We'll make it happen.
All righty.
Whatever it
Hey, I
takes.
tell you what, hey,
WIT.
this is such an extraordinary conversation with these world class. I said world class doctors. Look them up. We certainly did. I mean, so I know who we're dealing with here, and you will too if you look them up and you see the credentials and things that they're doing. So I want to thank you, Dr. Haggquist, for taking the time to come on the show. Looking forward to having you back Monday. Dr. Mantell, I want to apologize. I did not know that this, but you know what? Guess what? We get knocked down, just like what Dr. Haggquist said, but you got to always get back up.
That's right. Flexibility.
And
Resilience.
Yes. Resilience.
I want to thank both of you all for doing the show. Michelle gonna get back in touch with you all. I'd like to thank Michelle for putting together another great show. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Always remember to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time.
You're welcome, man. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, James.
Your
Thank you,
life
Dr.
was
Mantell.
amazing.
You guys
Bye-bye.
are